This week we are coming out with interesting webinars. The first webinar is the Indian stock market still your best bet for long-term growth? Where we will be discussing is Indian stock market as an opportunity for long-term growth. And the second webinar is building conviction in uncertain time, where we will be talking about our flagship PMS product Solitaire. To join the above webinars, click the link in the description and bio.
When you succeed more than you expect to, an investor who enters the equity market will almost always have what I call as beginner's luck. First success is something that most investors tend to see. And this is very much in common with the experience you possibly have in a casino. What matters is not this first success. What matters really is how you learn to handle success. Most of us are only interested in learning how to seek success. And when we get success beyond what we expected, we actually want to get more of the same. This is very human. After you get a 20 bagger, what do you start thinking? You start thinking that you are a person who is destined only to find 20 baggers. It is not unusual for us to turn exceptions into rules. Most of us have very, very high recency bias, and this recency bias actually works on our personality in a way like no other bias works. So, when you see success, you think that you have some secret sauce. You think that whatever you do next will meet the same results. Rarely have I seen an investor who, when faced with unexpected success, turns cautious. It is doubly rare for an investor to become cynical about his own success. Most investors, when faced with the bounty of success, refuse to attribute that success to luck. When you assume that it is your skill and nothing but your skill led you to where you are in a successful situation, you tend to do many mistakes. You go wrong at many levels. First, your understanding of success is not correct. You overestimate yourself. You underestimate the role of chance and luck. And you tend to become delusory. An investor who tastes success beyond what he is mentally prepared for often sets himself up for bigger failure. Often the failure is bigger than the success. I recall many instances where a successful person talks about his success and you get a feeling that he is intoxicated without taking any external substance. You can see it. If you have done it, go back and recollect what all you said, and you will realize that you are no different. An investor's biggest problem is not handling failure, it is handling success. Most investors are ill prepared to handle success. And when success is bigger than what you expect it to be, your state of preparation is even more inadequate. You are far more ill prepared than you would be for a normal success when you are tasting extraordinary and unimaginable success. This is not a good situation to be in. Often, When you taste success beyond what you expected to, you should actually take a pause, take a clean break, and reimagine who you need to be, because that success has brought to you money which needs to be protected in the first place. When you get success beyond what you imagined, your primary responsibility is to protect it. I saw a guy who sold a business for 1000 crores when it was barely worth anything. It was just a name that he sold, but he got 1000 crores. And this was nearly 25 years ago. He vanished from the public space. Nobody noticed him. And then, almost a decade later, he surfaced. In the interim period, out of curiosity, I would check what he was doing. And what I heard was that he was leading a quiet life because he understood that this success was not his, it was chance. Friends, when we taste undeserving success, rarely are we able to do this. What do most people do? They think that they will be successful at everything and anything they do. I remember a person who built an FMCG brand that became hugely successful, going into film production. It was completely unnecessary. Most people who sell companies for high valuation enter businesses where there can be permanent loss of capital. Why do they do this? It is very simple. They think that they can handle any business and that they are born businessmen and any business they touch will be successful. Clearly, you are extending your success in one area into areas where you have limited competence, and you are going into domains where you can lose your entire capital. I see a lot of promoters of businesses enter unrelated businesses. You can create 1 lakh crore of valuation in a business which is a boring business. But if you are going to use that money or that goodwill to enter a business where there is going to be very high technological obsolescence, you are setting yourself up for failure. In every situation where there is super success, you always see the person who is experiencing that success overestimate himself. Don't think that this video only applies to others. It very much applies to me as well. Every person has to moderate himself when he is faced with success beyond what he expected in a situation. When you have a problem of plenty, you have to restrain yourself. You should not go around making statements. You should not suddenly think that your life is an example for others. You should not overestimate your success as some kind of a social role model. None of this is a given. All these things have to be proved by time, and when you have super success, when you are getting success beyond what you expected, beyond what you prepared for, beyond what you estimated, beyond what you imagined, then you first need to prepare, because you have not prepared. You never had the time to prepare for success when you are going towards it. So at least after you are successful, you need to prepare. Most investors who get a multi-bagger where they least expected it to, in a sector where there is hot money flows, tend to be ill prepared for it. They begin to become egoistic, borderline delusory, and dismissive of any opinion that does not agree with them. They shut the doors on what could be hugely beneficial to them. They fail to listen to contrarian opinions. They think that a person giving a contrarian opinion is not qualified to speak to them because they are not as successful, without understanding that success and wisdom are not Siamese twins. When you are successful, you need wisdom. And because you are successful, you are not going to get wisdom as a birthright. When luck brings you success, it does not pair wisdom with it. You need to go in search of the right levels of wisdom in the right places. These are things which investors must think all the time, because when you are going to be successful, you are going to need it. And the good news in this video is every one of you are going to have a situation where you will meet success beyond what you expected, beyond what you imagined, and beyond what you prepared for. And what I would think should be your takeaway from this video is to prepare. Thank you for watching.